babies.
The Boston Red Sox season has been over for a while now after dropping 2 straight to the Yankees, the only team in the 3 or 4 years they've been running this best of 3 wild card series to lose after winning game 1. So they knocked that little check off in history. Series was really lost in game 2. Just quickly to go back. I know a lot of people have talked about it, but we haven't. So not enough people are talking about Brayan Bello not making it through the second inning. Raymond, we talked about it. Kind of toot said that guy was going to fold. He did. He's not your answer as your second starter in your rotation, just for the playoff implications alone. Then your third base coach holds Eaton rounding third, cost him a run on a play to Jazz Chisholm. Duran can't catch a fly ball. Whitlock comes in the 8th, throws 46 pitches, gives up a hit off a bad bounce, leads to the game-winning run. Yankees lose 4-3. 7 pitchers used that night for Alex Cora. They really went all in, knowing that they had nothing to throw in game 3. Conley early comes in, valiant effort, but 4 given up in the 4th. Seeing eye singles, not good enough defense, not bad defense there from the Red Sox in game 3, inning 4, but not good enough. And they dropped the game. They dropped the series, and they drop it because of all the reasons they were not good enough throughout the season. Poor defense, bad base running, stupid baseball, not enough pitching depth, and not the inability to get players home and get runners home in scoring position or in a timely fashion. Just too many big swinging dicks out there in the lineup. On the season, I thought they had more wins than losses, and that generally happens when you're a playoff team, even a wild card team with 89 wins. The Crochet deal started off in the offseason, was the biggest one. He is the biggest difference maker on this team. They were 14 games above 500 when he pitched. When he was not pitching, they were a 500 team, which they've been the last 4 or 5 years. So single-handedly, Garrett Crochet brought them to the playoffs. That deal alone, that's a win. And they got him traded, and they got him signed long-term. He's your future. Chapman, we didn't like it at the time, but obviously the best closer in baseball this year. They extended him next year as well. That was a win. The Bregman signing, a lot of people were iffy on that. I'm going to give that a win, not just for his contributions on the field, but what he did in the clubhouse for a young team and a culture that needed to really turn around. Bregman was huge, and you combine that with trading of Rafael Devers, Raymond, getting that fatty out of town. I think did wonders for this team. You went from a laboring organization and team to striving, and the last piece of that whole intangible between Bregman coming in, Devers going out, was you finally bring up Roman Anthony, and things really took off.
And his sister.
There. And that was really your turning point in the season. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. When Roman Anthony came up and he was electric, I mean, he started off a little slow, but then he's going to be the face of the franchise. That number 19 is going to be sold out wherever you go on Fanatics, go to the Red Sox game. Everyone's going to like him. He's going to be that fan favorite. So, yeah, I think that's a huge thing, and the team really rallied around it. And when they lost him for the season, we all thought they were over, but yet somehow they just kept going.
Yeah, and it's a team led by a guy like Alex Bregman. And, Trevor Story to a lesser extent, but it's really a guy like Bregman that comes in with some pedigree and can speak and is calling guys at 2 a.m. and going over pitch, with his pitchers in the dugout on the iPad. So I think a massive impact from Alex Bregman, and I don't think I'm overstating that. They got to bring that guy back. Some losses on the season got in the way a little bit, or perhaps hurt them in acquiring additional talent. Not trading Jared Duran, either in the offseason when his value was highest, or at the trade deadline where you wouldn't offer him in a deal for Joe Ryan. Not trading Tristan Casas in the offseason where his value was higher. His value was highest last year. They should have got rid of him. But relying on that guy, and they put him in every trade rumor that you could think of. They tried to get some pitching from Seattle with Casas. They didn't want to do it, and they didn't get the return that they wanted for Tristan Casas. They overvalued Tristan Casas, and they fucked that up. Point blank. They should have got rid of that guy. He was a zero even before he got hurt. There's been a roadblock at first base for years because I was waiting for this kid to come up. He has not done what he's supposed to. Sounds like they're moving on from him. Good for you. Should have did it last year. The failed trade deadline. This comes back to haunt you right in the playoffs. Absolute zero. Nobody. They didn't get anybody. You get Dustin May was not on the team. They needed a big power bat. Weren't able to do that. You got Nathaniel Lowe as a waiver pickup, but I don't give him credit for that.
No, you got lucky. You got lucky that he could come here and he could, he was a positive for the team.
And he was a nice contribution, but you really needed to go acquire the deadline. You could have, you didn't. You failed there. Go ahead.
The one big failure that you didn't have on this list is giving Campbell that big money contract and then him getting sent down to AAA because he was atrocious this season.
I'll give you the failure on breaking camp with Tristan Campbell. That was not the right move. We'll see if the contract works out or not. But breaking camp with him, he obviously didn't belong. That was a dumb move and set them back a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought these were interesting. This is Craig Breslow and Sam Kennedy. This first clip is Craig Breslow talking about the organization and how they're approaching development.
I think what some of our defensive lapses have done is cause us to take a look internally around the way that we are developing players, the focus on defense in the minor leagues, and we've identified some opportunities to maybe change some of the methods and focus on defensive conversion to a greater extent. And I think we're going to see the rewards of that.
That was interesting to me because they led the league in errors. They couldn't hit with guys in scoring position. They were swinging out of their ass. And every kid that came up here, good segue from Tristan Campbell, who literally just can't play defense. He doesn't know how to play baseball. He knows how to swing, and he's athletic, but he can't play baseball. Jaron Duran, another example. Guy couldn't catch a fly ball when he came up here. He had to learn on the fly in the bigs. Alex Cora talked about it this year when they're bringing guys up. Like, you can't, these guys, you can't teach these guys how to play second base when they're at the stage. You have to teach them in the minor leagues, and it will be less gay if you do that. We just touched on the deadline. Give me Breslow on the deadline.
I think it would be irresponsible not to go back and think about all of the decisions that were made leading up to today. And that goes back to acquisitions we made in the offseason, roster transactions throughout the year, and certainly the trade deadline. We went into the deadline with a few goals, and it kind of became apparent that some of those weren't going to be able to be achieved, and we pivoted. And sometimes those work out, sometimes they don't. But I think we had a good process, we had good information, and our hope is we're going to find ourselves, 8 months from now or whatever it is, in late July with a really good team that we believe in, that we're looking to bolster all over again.
I have one question for this. Does that sound like a guy that was urgent at the deadline to acquire talent for this team to make a playoff push?
No.
Okay, can I just hear Sam Kennedy real quick?
What was rewarding to see this year was these two guys, again, to my right, acting with urgency, starting with our trip to Dallas and then all the way through. We didn't get there where we wanted to go. We all know that, but we acted with urgency and certainty and aggression, and we plan to continue to do that as we go forward.
Shut the fuck up, Sam Kennedy. He has said that same thing for the last 4 years after the Red Sox season. All 4 of them have been failures. This has been a step in the right direction. I wouldn't call it a failure. They met expectations this season. Sam Kennedy, you didn't work with urgency. You failed at the deadline, okay? You are working within parameters of what you want things to be perfect and value and the nerds. Your guys have not yet learned how, at the deadline specifically, when you need something, you overpay for it. That's what the market dictates, and that's what you do in order to win, because baseball is a game. It's a sport. It is not a business transaction, and that's how these guys are still treating it, as gay as it may be in baseball, and that's fine. So I've got the hint. We're going to save what the Red Sox need to do in the offseason for next week to make these guys sit through it. Even though
I was fine. Bob
by
made it.
far the most excitement in Red Sox Nation for a long
time
was this team. The 3 games we got to watch this year, playoff baseball, that was the most excitement I've been in a sporting event.
5 years?
Well, no, I mean the Celtics won, but there's an expectation. There was kind of a boring finals. They smoked Luka, so
yeah,
there wasn't that excitement until like last night. Drake May and the Bills, you got that going again. But playoff baseball is fucking great, man. And to have 3 games of that was awesome. So, the next steps here for the Red Sox is to not completely blow this offseason. You do actually have to be urgent. You do have to be aggressive. You do have to re-sign Bregman, get your pitching, get some big bats in the lineup, make the next step forward, spend some goddamn money, and make a run. Because if you do so, you're right in line with World Series contenders. If they start February not as leading World Series contenders in the American League, they failed the offseason. So we've got all winter to talk about it. I get it. We'll get back to the Red Sox next week because you guys are slugs who can't handle a little America's pastime talk.